The film opens with high school student Kelly, who suffers from pica, a disorder with which he was born, and who is frequently tormented. As a result, Kelly has cravings for and consumes substances that are not regarded to be food. As a result, the other students taunt Kelly and compare him to garbage. Even worse, because Coach Gus is related to one of the bullies and protects them, nothing is done to stop the bullies. Kelly's mother, Bernice, is concerned for her son and wonders about his health. One day she meets Pfluger, a well-known and self-described healer, who shows off his prowess by miraculously curing an elderly woman by simply touching her. When Bernice notices this, she begs the healer to visit her sick son Kelly, and he accepts. Red Elk, a friend of the healer who is aware of the truth about his talents, cautions him about them and the potential damage they can do but is ignored. Pfluger attends to her son when visiting Bernice and Kelly in their RV. When he initially tries to heal Kelly, there seems to be no difference. After requesting to use the restroom, Pfluger repeatedly attempts to heal Kelly after consuming some cocaine and smoking a cigarette. Pfluger eventually falls on the ground dead after exhausting all of his strength. Bernice is relieved when Kelly unexpectedly regains consciousness, indicating that the healing process was successful. To their surprise, Kelly is likewise cured of his ailment and now craves normal edible foods and beverages. Red Elk then buries Pfluger in a remote spot. After returning to school, Kelly runs into Reed, one of the bullies, who tries to beat him up. To both of their shocks, Reed, who is also hurt, feels the pain. After a few more tries, Reed calls Kelly a weirdo and flees in fear. Coach Gus and his thugs come to Kelly after school and accuse him of beating Reed up even though he is unharmed. Bernice defends her son and makes them leave. Kelly explains that he has acquired the ability to reflect any harm back to the person who did it when Bernice wonders what's going on. At first, Bernice doesn't believe him, but then Kelly surprises her by showing off his prowess by pinching his own arm and having Bernice feel the pain. Kelly pledges to never abuse these powers and to keep them a secret from everyone else. He accepts Dominique's invitation to a bonfire party after becoming friends with and falling in love with her. When they get there, Kelly discovers that his bullies were also invited. One of the bullies, Tony, and Kelly start a fight, which Coach Gus ends. Kelly then rides his bicycle away from the gathering and makes the decision to go home for the evening. However, Kelly is spotted by the bullies while they are driving and is pursued by them. They overtake him and run him over, but thanks to his special skills the bully who is driving is killed as all of the injuries are mirrored at him. As the terrified bullies flee and contact the police, Kelly, shocked by this, blames the bullies for his death. When Dominique discovers the accident, she questions Kelly about how he is unharmed, which forces Kelly to admit the truth about his skills. Eventually, after questioning Kelly and the bullies, the police determine that Kelly is innocent because the bullies are unable to account for what they have just seen. The bullies plan to pull a practical joke on Kelly as retaliation after learning that their friend died as a result of Kelly. They wait for Kelly to get out of his RV and attach a chain to the supports. The motorhome falls to the ground as a result of their using their car to cut the linked chain and remove the supports. They go, feeling satisfied that their joke worked. However, they were unaware that Kelly's mother had been asleep inside the RV and had been awakened by the joke. The prank led to a series of events that broke a gas line and caused the door to jam, locking Bernice inside. A few seconds after the explosion, Kelly returns home to find it on fire. He tries to save Bernice but it's too late, she perishes in the inferno, leaving Kelly heartbroken. Kelly, who is a patient, is seen consuming bits of his bandage. While Sheriff Adler looks into what started the fire that claimed Kelly's mother's life. When the bullies find out what happened, they become terrified because they fear being detained and imprisoned. However, they are confident that they shouldn't worry too much because they know it was an accident. The bullies make the decision to unwind and swim at a neighboring river. Sheriff Adler is simultaneously driving Kelly to a temporary residence where he can stay. Kelly realizes that his bullies were responsible for the fire and his mother's death when he discovers on the road that a chain was discovered close to his burnt home. When Kelly escapes the sheriff, she discovers the bullies swimming in the river. He searches through their possessions until he finds Tucker's shirt, which he then uses as a tool to strangle himself while Tucker is swimming in the river, causing Tucker to choke and drown. He is not saved by the bullies since they thought he was simply having fun until it was too late. 1 down, 2 to go, Kelly declares as she emerges from concealment. Kelly decides to spare him after Reed, who is aware of his talents, flees in fear in response to him. When Sheriff Adler shows up, he orders Kelly to go but not before threatening to kill the rest of the group. Bullies make an effort, and fall short, of persuading Adler of Kelly's skills. He doesn't believe them. Kelly approaches Dominique at night and begs her for assistance in stopping the bullies who killed his mother. The following day at school, Kelly and Dominique interrupt science class and confront Tony and Nelson, the 2 bullies who are still there. He commands them to come clean and admit what they did, but they pretended not to know. Tony is dared to throw a cup of acid on Kelly's face when Kelly snatches his hat and plays keep away with him. The provocation succeeds in getting Tony to splash acid on Kelly's face, but as feared, Tony too suffers agony and injuries that cause his face to burn and swell. Sarah, Tony's upset and furious girlfriend, kicks Kelly in the groin, but the pain is once more visible. Kelly then accuses Nelson of being responsible for Tony's misfortune, claiming that despite having numerous chances to confess and save him, Nelson ultimately had only his own interests in mind. However, before Kelly can cause more harm, Sheriff Adler shows there and forces him to temporarily retreat. Nelson and Sarah talk about what to do because it seems impossible to defeat Kelly because any harm done to him is returned to the perpetrator. But Sarah says she knows of a method. She saw Kelly chew some vines next to Pfluger's grave, which hurt him and made him throw the plant back up. To use it against Kelly, they decide to take some of the plant and make it into a liquid. The following day, Kelly walks up while Nelson and his father, Coach Gus, are speaking to the sheriff on the field. He is finally prepared to kill Nelson after consuming a portion of his shirt. Nelson is getting ready to use an extinguisher with the toxic plant in liquid form as he prepares a power drill. However, Kelly stabs himself in the leg with the drill while Nelson is still spraying him, preventing Nelson from spraying him. Gus, horrified by what he's just seen, orders the sheriff to take action. Nelson was able to injure Kelly by spraying him with the plant when Dominique arrived and told him to stop. However, Kelly still recovers, albeit more slowly than usual, so it is not a lifelong condition. Gus decides enough is enough and takes Sheriff Adler's gun, shooting Kelly once in the head. Nelson and Gus were both killed at the same time, though. Adler tries to persuade Kelly to give up his powers because they are not his, but he won't do it until Dominique persuades him. At Pfluger's tomb, Adler and Red Elk assemble to begin the ritual to extinguish Kelly's powers. When the ceremony is about to reach its peak, some officers show up there and shoot Kelly. Sadly, it is demonstrated by the assassination of the officer and Dominique, who was standing next to Kelly. Dominique is not successfully saved by Kelly's efforts. Pfluger dies after Kelly, overcome with grief, swallows his decomposing heart, ostensibly putting a stop to the whole affair. The bodies of Kelly and Dominique are seen being transported in an ambulance at the closing scene. Dominique is abruptly made visible when one of the body bags pushes forward. As Nelson indicated earlier in the film, she is touching her wound and claiming that it is itching. Upon learning that Dominique had benefited from Kelly's healing talents, Dominique smiles evilly. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.